So, as kind of a central theme weaving itself throughout both of these analyses, right? We talk a lot about the expected inflation. So the future rate of inflation that consumers and firms build into their current decision making process. When we're talking about Keynes' the Keynesian perspective throughout this whole thing is the government should adjust the aggregate demand so the economy produces at that potential GDP, right? So the Keynesian perspective is, not so low that cyclical unemployment occurs, but also not so high that inflation results. The neoclassical perspective is that the aggregate supply is going to determine the potential GDP. And that it's not aggregate demand that determines unemployment, it's the natural rate. And the neoclassical perspective is that it is the very shifts in aggregate demand that the Keynesians are prescribing that are the primary determinant of changes in the price level. And so in the long run, the neoclassicists believe that we don't have a trade-off between inflation and unemployment. So in the long run, the neoclassicist model looks like this, right? We have long run aggregate supply, neoclassical, and then we just have different levels of aggregate demand. And so each one of these is corresponding to different levels of inflation. 110, 115, 120, but all of them are the same GDP of $400 billion. And so this is going to translate to the long run Phillips curve. So we're going to take these points, right? The inflation of 110 is a 2% inflation. And right here, we're at the natural rate of unemployment, which is 5. So that's that first point right there. And then the second point, right, we're at maybe 3% inflation here. And then what's our unemployment? It's still at the natural rate of unemployment. It's at 5. And then right here, let's say that's 4 for 120. What's the unemployment there? It's just that natural rate of unemployment, or 5%. And so our long-run Phillips curve, according to our neoclassicists, is going to be a vertical line at the natural rate of unemployment, which is just going to be our frictional and our structural unemployment with cyclical unemployment zeroed out, not showing up as part of the calculus. Questions on neoclassical approach and the long run Phillips curve?